Hi everyone, it's Jimmy. Today we're going to talk about these two boards right here, and we're going to talk about what affects the value of a vintage snowboard. So let's get the video started. When I started to post videos of old snowboards, I started to get comments and messages from people asking me, hey, what is my old snowboard worth? I have this old snowboard at my house. It's been sitting there for years. Can you tell me what it's worth? Now, my channel isn't really about giving estimates on old snowboards. It's more just about talking about the history of these old boards and the history of snowboarding. But I do get this question a lot, so I want to cover it. In order for somebody to give you an estimate on a snowboard, they have to know the condition of the board. They have to have good pictures, good detailed pictures of the board, because there's a lot of factors that can affect the value of an old snowboard. So that's why I have these two Burn Cruisers here. They're both 1987 boards, they're both the same. And I want to show you how the value of each of these boards is very different based on the condition. So condition is everything on a snowboard. Unless it's something super old and rare and there's not many of them, the condition is really going to affect the value of the board. You know, collectors, they want to see if the board is all scratched up, if the top sheet is cracked, does it have chips on the side, on the edges here, are the edges damaged? Just make sure if you're going to take pictures of the board, take off the bindings. A lot of collectors, they're not really interested in the bindings. I do like bindings if they're intact, but most collectors are not really into that, and it makes shipping the board harder. So a lot of these boards are gonna have old bindings that are gonna be cracked, so just go ahead and take them off, because people wanna see what is going on underneath that binding. Is it all damaged, all scratched up? Are the inserts okay? Those kind of things. So just take them off so that people can see what's going on underneath. Also take good pictures of the base. Is the base dried out? Is it cracked? Are there big gouges in there? Is it stained where you can't clean it? Is it delaminating, coming apart? Those kind of things. Now, I have these two 87 Burn Cruisers right here, and one is worth way more than the other. I'll just kind of give you an idea. This one here, I picked these boards up locally. I got this one from one of my buddies, George, who I race BMX with, and I picked this one up from another guy locally. Now, this board is much cleaner than the other board here. It's a beautiful board. And it's got amazing stickers on it. I'll never take these off. But the condition of the top sheet is super clean, very nice. Now the base was really dirty. So it was dirty, but I could tell that I could clean it and there was no damage to the base. It wasn't delaminating, nothing like that. It still has the center fin here, and I was able to give it a storage wax. But if you look at it, it's a nice clean base. The edges are intact, they're not damaged. Everything looks really good with this board. So this board right here, just kind of a rough estimate in this condition. This board, something like this, could be worth $600–700. Who knows? It depends. Somebody might pay more for it. Some people might pay less for it. But just let's say for the sake of the video, $700. This board right here is the same exact board. Now it still has the bindings on it. It's gonna have some rash underneath, but not bad. Check out the base on this board. It doesn't look so bad here. You know, you can clean a lot of these bases. That's not so bad. But you might not be able to see too good on this camera. But right here, the front nose is starting to delaminate right here, in this area right here. It's starting to come apart. Now, the tail section, it's not so good. It's even worse. You can kind of see it here. You can kind of see how that base is coming apart there. Now for some collectors, some people will still want this board. Like I still love this board right here, and I'm gonna try to repair it. So the value of this board right here is definitely gonna go down a lot because it's coming apart. So some collectors don't want anything to do with that, because once it starts delaminating, chances are it's gonna start coming apart more and more over the years. So a board like that, to some collectors, they might say, hey, it's only worth like 150 bucks. $200. You know what? I'll give you $200 because I'll just peel the rest of the base. I'll display the top sheet, I'll clean that, and I'll display the base, and I'll be able to show both. So it all depends on the condition. So this one, let's say we said it could be worth $700. Now this one could only be worth 150 bucks, 200 bucks to the right person. So that's how condition can affect the value of a snowboard. So there's a lot of different ways that you can sell your snowboard. So some people will sell it on Facebook Marketplace. Some people will sell it on Craigslist. There's Facebook groups where people sell snowboards, and some people might even list it on eBay. Now, if you're gonna post your board on eBay, you can ask whatever you want, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna get that. Asking price of a snowboard isn't the value of a snowboard. So if you're still on eBay and you wanna get more of an accurate value of a snowboard, you can go under sold listings and you can kind of see what they sold for in the past. However, just remember that sometimes somebody might overpay for a board accidentally if they don't know about it, and that's not the true value of the board. Another place where you can sell your snowboard is on a Facebook group, or you can get estimates from Facebook groups that specialize in vintage snowboards. So with those Facebook groups, you have to be careful. There are some people that are super knowledgeable. They're gonna give you the true price of the board. And then there's people that don't know what they're talking about. They might see an old burned wooden board and they'll tell the person, man, you're gonna retire with the money that you're gonna make from this. And that's not true. You're not gonna retire with one of those burned boards. You might make a little money, but you're not gonna retire with it. So you have to be very careful. Just read through your comments and see what that average price sounds like. Now, somebody that's selling on board might say, man, this guy's only offering me $500. I can go sell it on eBay for 800 bucks or 900 bucks. Now you have to remember, if you're gonna sell on eBay, they are gonna charge you a big fee. It's gonna be over 13% plus a listing fee. And if you sell it for more than $600, now you have to report that on your taxes. Now some people might say, you know what, if I can't get more for the board, then I'll just keep it. That's definitely an option. And some people will say, I'll pass it down to my kids. Now you have to be honest with yourself. Does your child really want that snowboard? Some might, but some might not. They might not even have the slightest interest in it. So you might say, hey, you know what? I'll just keep it. I'll throw it in my closet. Later on, you're gonna be like, I should have sold the board. It's in my way. I need to get rid of this. So it's really up to you. Nobody's forcing you to do something. But what I will say is that if you can sell it to somebody that really cares about it, go ahead and do it. You can even sell it cheaper to that person. You know, one time I went to a garage sale and I bought a collection of toys. So I bought them because I wanted to give my brothers the option of, you know, the toys that they wanted from it. And I bought it because they were 80s toys. They were cool toys. But when I got back, I let my brothers pick what they wanted from the toys. And then I put the other toys for sale. And I put them pretty cheap compared to other people on eBay. And I just let people buy them. And some people were still like, hey man, I just need this toy. Can you give me a discount on it? And I said, yeah, heck yeah. And I sold the toy. And I sold it because it was going to somebody that had a stronger interest than I did in the toy. And I just needed to get rid of it. When I purchase a snowboard, I really take care of it. It means a lot to me. And when people tell me the stories of their boards, they mean even more to me. So I take very good care of them. So if you're somebody that has a rare board and you want to sell it to somebody, you can ask that collector, hey, what do you like to do? What boards do you collect? What are you going to do with the board I sell you? Those kind of things. You can go ahead and ask them that, and that's okay. For me, I love to tell people what I like to do with my boards and why I love them so very much. So you can find out what kind of collector they are, and that might play into, you know, you selling the board if you want to sell it to them or not. So go ahead and ask those questions, and that's perfectly fine. So the question I get all the time, what is my snowboard worth? It's really going to depend on the condition, the rarity of the board, and how bad somebody wants it. You might be able to sell it to somebody for a lot of money, or maybe you're gonna be disappointed and it's not gonna be worth that much. It just depends. But what I would recommend is just make sure that you clean that board, you take very good detailed pictures, and try to sell it that way. Sell it for the right reasons and get what you want out of it. If you're not getting what you want out of it, then don't sell it. It's up to you. But at the end of the day, a good collector is gonna take very good care of it. And chances are they're going to share that board with other people. They're going to share the story, and it's going to be better than the board sitting in a closet. So I hope this answered your question or gave you just a better idea of the value of a vintage snowboard and how it can change. But if you like this video, please hit the like button and please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, guys.